Now, there are a lot of commonalities between India and Vietnam. We all know both are emerging nations, but the kind of development initiatives that this country has taken has a lot of lessons for us to learn. Because also there are two countries who are trying there to enter. One is China and the other is US, as Dr. Tan nicely brought in. So now, without taking any more time, I would like to request Mr. Atul Kumar Saxena to kindly deliver his remarks.
Sanh Chau and good evening to friends. I'm very thankful to our ambassador who has given me a chance to speak in front of you. I also welcome our guest from Vietnam, Dr. Wu, and also our friends from the Policy Times. I went to Vietnam in 1984, and since then I am in business there, and I have a very deep experience. I went there working for a company known as Simco International, which was a Birla company, and we were the company which got the 100% share of the line of credit which the government of India had given to Vietnam. So I was part of that team. And we were the people who set up a very famous jute mill there that's known as Indira Gandhi Jute Mill, which still exists outside Ho Chi Minh City in a place known as Thu Duc. And subsequently I changed over after 5 years of working with them to Thakrals, which were based out of Singapore. And Vietnam that time was under the US embargo. So Japanese companies couldn't trade into Vietnam. And Thakrals still represent about 60 brands of Japanese multinational products, right, starting from Seiko to National to the Techniques, Panasonic. So they wanted my services to establish these brands into Vietnam, working through Singapore. And later on I started my own business. That was way back in 91, and till now, as I said, we are still working in Vietnam. So my experience of Vietnam is totally 360. I've seen the country when it was under the US embargo, then the Doi Moi policy which opened the country. And I would like to say that one most important thing in Vietnam is that the stability of the government. Every investor looks for stability. The stability of government is 100%. Literacy rate already doctor has spoken about, is so high. Workforce is available. And the most amazing things are the export zones there. There are 250 export zones. Some of them are industrial zones, are 250, out of which there are export processing zones. And when we see the Indian export processing zones or industrial zones, and when we see the Vietnamese, how they have done it, it's unbelievable. And supposing you go to one of the export zones in Da Nang or near Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh and Mekong, there are 4 major export industrial zones. You will find all the multinational brands there. And the quality of working, the ease of doing business in these export zones as well as the industrial zones is unbelievable. So while I was working in Vietnam, and still we are working, I'm the only person from India who brought in 50 Indian companies into Vietnam. Doctor was speaking of pharmacy. I was the person who brought in first the Ranbaxy. I was the first person. Then Ranbaxy decided to start up a small factory there, of which I was the person who helped them to do that, which is in Ho Chi Minh City. Subsequently, we brought in Cipla, Cadella, Elders, Himalayan. Everybody knows me because these are all the companies with whom we have been working, and some of them we are still working. So pharmacy has a very big scope there. But now also 200 plus Vietnamese companies are having GMP license. And they are also producing world-class medicines, and which are exported to neighboring countries like Laos and Cambodia. But still the demand is growing as the purchasing power for medicines is growing. When way back in 1984, the purchasing power for medicine was $2 per capita. Today it has gone up to $240. So it's just growth. You can well imagine of the scope of doing business in pharmaceuticals. And as I was saying, the ease of doing business is very high. There is a single window system, so you don't have to run anywhere so much to get your things in order. And the level of efficiency of the bureaucracy is better than India. I would not say one of the best in the world, but better than India. Your paperwork should be complete. And the scope of business is endless. Pharmacy is only one of the areas. Tourism, you see that tourism infrastructure is unbelievable. There is a place close to Ho Chi Minh City. It's in Phuket. It's known as Mune. If you go to Mune is just a mini Bali, for example, with the resorts which they have created next to the sea. And it's got white sand. And the resorts are unbelievable. And today they have, I think, 70% occupancy. Some time back we had, here itself we had a promotion of Phuket Island, which I have visited, which is one of the best islands, and one Indian family has gone there to arrange their marriage of their son. They had taken 2 chartered planes, and His Excellency also was there. So you can imagine that some Indian family deciding to go all the way to Vietnam, and then the infrastructure must be high class. So the scope of business in various sectors, food processing, they have huge variety of tropical fruits which are to be processed. Today they have one of the best coffees. They grow Arabica coffee and they process it and value add it, and they are trying to export to India. Some people, some of my members, because ours is a chamber for importers, are trying to do that. Some have been doing it. Besides coffee, pineapple, they are exporting pineapple and they compete with India. They compete with India with black pepper, for example, with tea, with cashew, which we Indians had given them the technology to convert the green tea to black tea under the line of credit. I was one of the persons who was involved in that also, line of credit. And coir also, we had given them the technology. They are now much better. Cashew today, they are one of the leading exporters in the world. And a lot of Indian companies have invested in Vietnam in the cashew industry. Now these investments come from various locations, so they are not shown on the Indian Vietnam map. They are coming from Singapore, like Pillay Group. Pillay Group is one of the biggest operators of cashew factories in Vietnam today. But Pillays operate out of Singapore. They don't operate out of Keelong, from where they belong. Similarly, there are a lot of Indian investments which are not shown, but I know because we operate on 24/7. I was one of the people in the delegation of the President of India in November with the ambassador. So also we had a very big Indian business delegation, and they signed some MOUs also. So on the overall, I would say that Vietnam is a very good destination, and we have very good political relations, deep relations, but that relations are not equated to the economic exploitation between the two countries. I have been promoting many Indian companies, and today itself we have just inaugurated our chamber there, that is Vietnam IICCI there in Vietnam today itself, so that we can connect to more Vietnamese exporters. We like to go in for exports from Vietnam to India, and opportunities for Indian investors into Vietnam. This is what is a niche area where we work. And again, I thank you for all of you to be here, and I thank His Excellency to give me some time to share my experience. So we are always available. We are in New Delhi. We are in 20 locations in India. The chamber operates, and obviously in Vietnam. Thank you, and come in.
Thank you so much, Mr. Saxena, for this wonderful industry review. I would say.